Hello and welcome to Concrete Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. I'm Brenda and we're here today with a fun little block that I grew up knowing is called Aunt Tilly. Now I don't have an Aunt Tilly, so I'm not sure whose block this is or what. I looked for it in the Barbara Bachman Encyclopedia of Quilt Blocks and I couldn't find it. Mind you, there's like 4,000 of them in there, so I figured, okay, we worked this all out and we found similar ones, but not this one. So we worked it all out and we figured, okay, we're going to do this. But first, we're going to do a shout out. I want you guys to go check out Kris at Sew the Distance. Now, her YouTube channel is going to be in my show notes below, along with our Facebook group and our Zoom Sew link. The Facebook group, you just click on that link. If you're part of Facebook, it'll take you into the group and, you fill out a membership and you're welcome in. So we have the Zoom sewing rooms, we're doing fabric swaps, and now they're doing a Christmas swap. And then they're doing, what else are they doing? Oh, they've got all sorts of community chats and the sewing room, and they show pictures and we ask questions, and it's a busy little place and it's lots of fun and it's very warm and welcoming. So if you get the chance to join, please do. It's growing quickly. The other thing is we have the Zoom Sew date for now until the end of December, and then we'll start the new ones for next year, right? We're not sure if we're going to stay with the first Saturday of the month or how we're going to do this yet, but we'll probably get there really quickly. And those links, all of that Zoom link will be in that show note. So come on in. Let's get to this sewing. Okay, so here we are at the sewing machine, and just pull myself up here just a hair. You can see I've got all the half square triangles all ready to sew, so I didn't want to lay them out just yet, but we will just move them through the sewing machine real quick. Now I gave you the cutting instructions for the traditional method. I use the easy angle ruler and I use 2.5-inch strips. That's why my one part here is already clipped off. So we always start with the hardest bits first. Do the littlest bits, put them together first. Right? Because once you see how this goes together, you're building it from the inside out. Right? So, but you need all the little bits put together first. Okay. This was one of these blocks that just, I don't know. I grew up with it, and if you have, there was several variations of this block, but none was, I couldn't find one that was exact in the Barbara Bachman book. But if you guys find it, or you know what else it's called, then we can let us know too in the comments below. I think names on quilt blocks are very regional. Right, so the one block we call, let's say here in Canada, something, down in the US or the southern states, it might be called something else. And that they found when they were putting together that encyclopedia too, that, the northern states would call block one thing and the southern states would call it something else. And it was like, it was one of those things. So, okay. Yeah, I don't have an Aunt Tilly, but this was a cute block. And it's good for scraps too. Like if you're doing, I was really quite surprised how little fabric it did use, right? I mean, you've got like your medium, dark, and light, right, values. And I used a focal fabric. I had the wrong, as soon as we got on camera, guys, I realized my chosen focal fabric was not, didn't have enough contrast with the low volume green and white print. And I call this low volume because it's white background and, okay, it's a white background and it's got, the value of it looks lighter than the mid-tone ranges. Some people would call that a medium, but I call it low volume. And I don't have I also had to pick this green for another reason, which is silly. I'm doing something with my green strings and crumbs, and I might be running out of green crumbs, which is bizarre. But anyway, so I'll just flip these over, cut the other dog ear off. Now, when I cut dog ears, okay, you can see that good. The easy angle ruler cuts them off at a 90-degree angle between here and here, which works. I prefer mine a little steeper on the cut, and I'll show you here in a sec. I prefer a cut like that. That actually takes away a lot of bulk from the corner, or you know, and sometimes that's a really good thing. And you're not affecting the seam, right? Which is a lot of people, oh, you're cutting it too thin. No. All you need is a 1/8 seam there, really. And there's lots of full seams on this block, so it's all good. Now, of course, you would take yours to your ironing board and do all that fun stuff that you're supposed to do, like iron your blocks. I'm finger pressing because we did iron tutorials here a while ago, and I was unimpressed, uninspired, actually. Okay. There, and you'll start laying them out. And it's just such a cute little layout. Here, just like that. Can you see that? Yeah. They're just pretty little blocks. Now if I knew who the original designer was, I would give credit to them, but I don't. So, oops, this one goes this way. Here. There we go. And the last three. Now, this block doesn't look like it's going to go together because there's all sorts of weirdness going all over the place, right? Well, it does. It does. Now, we're going to start in the middle because the construction's from the middle out. So we have... Man, I don't have a leader ender project handy, so I will use my little here, just like so. So these are 1.5 inch strips, and they go on either side of your center, just like this. Line them up. Okay. Nice, easy little thing to do. Okay. Now, you put it back, and you see what goes on next. Okay. Actually, when I was working with my green crumbs and strings, I went looking for a green and white little volume. If anything extra would have been put into my little project that I was working on after I cut, you know, a few other little blocks out of it. It was like, okay, I've got some string, thank goodness. Okay. So now you've got the center assembled, almost assembled. And there, you're just pushing the white out, you know, away from the center. It's nothing. Oh, come on. All right, there, under. Go this thing. Three more to flip. Being difficult. Okay. Well, there. Now. So now you've got the center. Okay, just like that. Right? So what you're going to do is you're going to sew this row across and these three together and this row across. So it doesn't matter really where you start here. you just want to make sure as you're doing this, you're not losing your place. And I pick up 2, sew your seam, put the other 2 back. You know, that's where kind of this, because you can get confused and turned around very quickly on this block if you're not careful. So pick up 2, put it back. There we go. There we go. Oh, I want to go in there. Now we pick up, put it back. I'm just working. I know this is confusing, but you're better off to just do a little bit at a time. And because you've got your triangles are all going all sorts of different directions, right? So now you pick up 2. And I have fibromyalgia, so some days it's a challenge. I am very directionally challenged. And today might be one of those days. But then you get to see me use my stitch ripper, so it's fine. Okay, so push that one out. Oh, push it into the center. Sorry, put it in, pushed it into the center. Okay, there. Now we're going to take this and there we go. Okay. There we go. There's a great big thread you don't need. Okay. Now that goes across the top and this goes here, just like so. What you want to do is make rows. You want to make 3 rows, essentially, what you're working towards. Okay, now, I'm going to put this down, and this gets folded in. There. There. So now I'm going to pick these 2 up. And I've got my top row now done. There, I've got my top row, and I'm going to start with this one next. Yeah. So I've decided I'm going to continue talking to the gills for free. It's really, it's good for me to be out and doing stuff in the community, and I just find there's a lot of satisfaction with that kind of work. There. Okay, so there it goes. Oh no, I want to go in. There we go, and I pick up that one. Okay. That goes like that. Now, what I've done is I've pressed these solid squares in on both, right? So these are going this way, and so are these. Oh, they went the wrong way anyways. Oh well. Ugh. We're trying to do it that way, but apparently it didn't want to. So I'm just going to run this through, just like so. And hopefully my seams don't flip on me again. We got one seam that's flipped, but that's okay. It's not going to affect there. And it gets pressed to the center, and there we go. Okay, there we go. One thing I will say about this add a quarter ruler, these add a quarter rulers, they are so nice when it comes to, like, you don't have to trim your triangles. You know, because sometimes that's the hardest part of a block. So I've got this here, but this goes here, so let's get this sewn. Now, these are going out and these are going in, right? So you see how that works, okay? And that's really, you nest those, make sure those nest well. Normally, this is one that's really hard to, let's get this out of the way, just a hair for now. Okay. Here now. There we go. Just like so. There. Okay, and I'm going to put my little plug through, and I'm going to put this all back on the board so you can see what I'm doing. Because this all goes in. This would get sewn in like so, right? So basically this long seam goes in, okay? And let's see, these go in, this goes out, just like that. Okay, so now when I'm doing this, these go out and the ones underneath go in. So now I'll get this out of the way because it's just a bit too long and it's bumping the light. Okay, now, so you've got all the inside of it done. Now the great part about this block, other than the fact it finishes at 12.5 inches, is all your points are floating. So that means you're not sitting there now trying to match up all these little points because you've got these cheater pieces on the end, right? So now, what we're going to try and do is I'm going to make sure, okay, I'm going to make sure, and I'm going to sew it from this side. Okay, there's one piece. Okay, and line up this piece. And, did I forget the oil machine? Oh no. Yeah, those floating points are so nice because you don't have to worry about, you know, and I've made all of them. Woohoo! Because I can see them from the back. Because you can see where this intersects and this line intersects. Here, I'll show you. Just, oops. Right, okay, where the blue here and the white here, you can see where that intersects. So all of your points you should be able to get because you're sewing it from the side you can see the points on. Right, so it's an easier way of doing it. And let's see, okay. So you're not cutting off the edges of your triangle. And this one went. Now, this seam got flipped. I'm just going to clip down and flip it the way it should be going. That's a little cheat. You just clip it. You don't clip into the stitch. You clip almost up to the stitch. There. That's a cute. There's other people that do it all sorts of different ways. You know, you pick one way that works for you. And there again, I have not I'm not sewn over any points, so we're doing good. And here, I'll just take this piece and put my board away. Boards are nice. Those design boards are so nice when you've got lots of little bits and bobs to, you know, concern yourself with, right? Now, here we go. Now the outer strips are 1.5 inch. Some people might, oh, well, they're too small, but you know what? It makes your assembly of the blocks beside it so much easier. So yeah, no, it's never too small. So the only ones you really can't see are these ones because they're flipped a certain way. But then you kind of, you know, okay, take your best guess. You know, take your best run at what you're doing. You know, be hopeful that you've done it right. And another thing, you can kind of see it as you're coming up to it. Like you flip it that way, like you just flatten it the other way. And then you can kind of see where your 1/4 inch should be. But if you got your 1/4 inch set up right, you shouldn't have a problem with this block. Okay, the next one, you know, I'm dying to peek whether I made them all. Yes, I did. Woohoo! 4 out of 4. Yay me. Okay, now the last piece. Okay. There we go. Okay, we're almost up to it, and then see, you can kind of open it to see where it's crossing, and then you kind of like, okay, take your best guess as to where it is, because you're flipping it the right way. And next two. Oh, this is a little shy. Okay, and now we get to the ta-da moment. Okay, so here's Antilli. This is our finished project. Now this is using a dark, medium, and lights, or low volume. And you know, this is one of these ones where you could make a bunch of these and put them together. You don't have anything to match up, right? Because you've already pre-sashed the outside edges of everything. Now, if you don't want this sashed edge where we sewed the edge on, you would go one this way, one that way, one this way, one that way. So, and nobody would know that you're just doing that just to offset these seams, so you don't have to match them up and you don't have a bunch of bulk. This finished out really quickly, and it lies really nice and flat, you know, and just by, you know, those pressing. Now the back, basically, everything from the center block is pressed out except for the next edge around it, right? And then everything is pressed away from the white, or into the white squares. So that's kind of a nice, you know, it's a very simple instruction, and you'll see on your own fabric which way it's going to lie flatter when you're doing this block. But this is kind of a cute, ends up 12.5 unfinished, 12-inch finish. You know, you only need to make 35 of them, 5 across, 7 down, for a nice sized twin. So this is really cute and went together quite quickly. So I hope you give this one a try. And as always, I wish you the best of the week ahead, and you stay healthy and everything is all good with you until we meet again. Okay, bye! My husband and I would love to thank you for all of the amazing people that we have met along this crazy YouTube adventure that we've been having. We do free speaking engagements too, so if you're part of a guild and they're looking for, you know, people to talk and, you know, and chat with, you know, in their monthly meetings, tell them that I'm doing free ones just to help the guilds out, because it's been a tough time for the guilds as well. You know, share, like, and subscribe with your friends. You know, make sure that they're, you know, they get the word out on us. That's the best way you can do to help us out. So until we meet again, I want to thank you. Okay, goodbye.